Today we're going to talk about the 14 principles that took Jeff Bezos to a $1 trillion business with Amazon. My name is Michael Barayev, and I've built a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did it at zero money invested, and now we have a solar company that's growing like crazy from coast to coast like butter on toast. Now I know I'm not Jeff Bezos, and I probably have a lot way more to go to get there. We all probably do, but there's some amazing, valuable lessons that you can learn from Jeff Bezos on how he built his Amazon company, right? And there's a book called The Bezos Letters that talks about these 14 principles, okay? And you're probably gonna see the diagram throughout the video so you kind of know where we're kind of at, but there's 4 major areas that he kind of focused on. And by the way, he wrote a letter for his shareholders, and he does it every year whenever he does that. And the first shareholder letter literally had all these 14 principles inside of them, okay? Now, he didn't really say it like that, but the way if you read the letter, you'll see that these 14 principles actually come out of that letter, and that's the foundation of how Amazon was being built, and Jeff Bezos kind of built that, $1 trillion business. Now, there's 4 parts to it that, and throughout those 4 parts, there's different principles that come into it. So the first one is the testing phase, right? The testing phase when you got to test with new products, new markets, new technology, new whatever, right? The second thing is you build. Now you start building your product, you build your infrastructure, you build your teams, you build whatever needs to get built. The third part is the scaling part. That's when you start scaling and growing like coast to coast. Like butter on toast. And then the fourth part is the acceleration. Now, I'm going to go over all the 14 principles, and I'm going to kind of tell you which bucket they're kind of in. And if you start to implement these things into your business, I promise you, your business will 100% grow. So let's go over, number one. The number one principle that he talks about is in the testing phase, right? Encourage successful failure. See, a lot of companies and a lot of people, they don't encourage their teammates and their people on their team to fail forward. One of the greatest books I read by John Maxwell, which was Failing Forward. An amazing book that taught me a valuable lesson. It's okay to make mistakes, as long as you don't make the same mistake twice. So that book was an incredible, life-changing, altering event in my life where I was like, wow, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm not a failure if I make mistakes. And what Jeff Bezos does very well, he encouraged everyone to create successful failures, right? Having an environment where people are comfortable with failing. There's nothing wrong with failing as long as you don't keep failing over and over again with the same stupid mistake again and again. But every successful business has to have failure. Every successful billionaire, every successful millionaire, every successful company has made some mistakes. And by the way, Jeff Bezos says it himself. He made some major mistakes himself. There's a lot of failures that he had throughout his path. But because he was able to go out there and fail big, he was able to make it big as well. Number 2 principle is practice dynamic invention and innovation. Right? You have to invent and innovate a lot of different products. You have to keep innovating and recreating yourself. Just because something is working well does not mean it's going to work well forever. Reinvent, create something different, make it better for the customer. He always talked about the customer experience, right? That was very important to him, right? And how do you make the customers happy? It's by, inventing and innovating all the time. And you're always testing, even though people are happy with the product or service, he kept on reinventing and recreating and reinventing and recreating. And that's what you need to do in your business, right? That's what I've done in my business. I always want to recreate the commission structure, recreate the process. Like just today, we changed the pitch a little bit on how our conversations with our customers. It's been working, but we want to make it better and better and better and juicier and juicier and juicier. Next, third principle, bet on big ideas. I'll give you guys an example. Amazon bet really big on, opening up this marketplace for, guys like me and you to open up our own store and sell third-party products, right? But if you guys don't know, they actually started it with a separate login for customers, separate situation. I forgot what it was called, but it didn't work out so well. They failed so big on that, right? They failed really big on that. But guess what? Through that failure, they said, wait a minute, why don't we just let third-party, authorized sellers start selling their products? And now look at it. Now millions and millions of people have become millionaires all because of Amazon. Right? So it's an amazing thing to go out there and fail, but just go out there and fail and make mistakes, but bet on big ideas. Me jumping into the solar industry was a big bet on my life. I invested a lot of money to jump into this industry, and I was like, was it the right move or not move? Thank God it was the right move. But you got to bet on yourself. Sometimes you got to make those bets and go all in, right? So that's the testing phase. Now let's go into the building phase. The building phase, there's 3 principles. Number 1, the fourth principle, right, which is number 1 for the building stage, is obsessing over the customers. You have to obsess over customers. Like, the customer experience is everything. As a matter of fact, can you tell me the last time you called Amazon and they didn't give you a refund? Or they didn't take care of you? Like, anything that happens to me, like I miss a package, they always take care of me. And maybe because I'm spending a lot of money with them, but like, even if I wasn't, like, they're obsession with making a customer experience be amazing is why they're Amazon, is why they're so amazing. Like, I'd rather buy something through Amazon than anywhere else in the marketplace. Because I know that if I buy through Amazon and it doesn't come out the way it's supposed to come out, I can return it with no issues, no headaches. They don't ask me questions, done deal. And I like that as a customer, right? So they obsess over the customer. My question to you is this: what can you do to obsess over the customer? What are you doing right now that says and shows to the marketplace that you actually care about your customers? Or is it just a customer that you sign up to make some money and you're out? If you want to have a long-term business, understand this: it's not about chasing new customers all the time. If you don't have repeat customers or referrals coming from customers, that means your customer experience is not there yet. And you have to work on it on a consistent basis. So it's very, very, very important to do that. Number 5, apply long-term thinking. Everything you got to do is about long-term. There's a great book called The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Amazing book. When I read that book in 2019, I was so mad. I was like, damn, I should have read this in 2016, because from 2016 to 2019, my mindset was a little bit short-term. From 2020 and moving forward, it was all long-term, but it was kind of like too late in certain areas of my business. Now everything I do is about long-term vision, long-term vision, long-term vision. I don't care about the short-term. Short-term will be taken care of if I focus on the long-term first. Long-term is the short-term. Long-term is the shortcut. Long-term thinking. And when you think long-term, everyone will be laughing at you temporarily, because they're like, I remember there was audios and videos of people making fun of Jeff Bezos that he didn't make a profit in 2012, 13, and 14, or whenever it was, earlier in my career. It was crazy. And guess what? Jeff Bezos smacked everyone across the board because he had a long-term vision and long-term thinking. All right. Number 6, understand your flywheel. Understand your system. Understand your business. Understand your product. Understand your service. Understand. Know it better than anyone in the marketplace. You got to know your product and your service more than anyone around you. Like, do you study your game? Do you study your craft? Are you just trying to dabble in what you're dabbling in? No, man, you got to be obsessed. Not only do you have to be obsessed about the customer, not only do you have to worry about, applying the long-term thinking, but you have to be obsessed and you have to learn as much as possible about your process and your business. Study your industry. Know everything in and out about it. Because the better you know your industry, the better it is you can serve the people that you're trying to serve, right? And that's the six principles when it comes to testing and building. Now the third section is the scaling part, right? There's 4 principles in the scaling and 4 principles in the accelerate stage. So in the scale stage, right? Maintain your culture. Maintain your culture, meaning build a culture. What kind of culture do you represent? Like, we have the 10 commandments here, okay? What are your cultures? What are your standards? What are your principles? What are some things that, you believe in, that you can have everyone around you talking about? If your whole team is not talking about it, it's not a culture. Your culture is what everyone is doing when you're not there. Your culture is what everyone's doing and what they're speaking about when you're not there. Your culture is, when you're not there, what's going on behind closed doors. That's your culture. Are your customers being lied to? Are your customers, getting the right information? Is it all done the right way? Like, what is your culture? What is your internal culture? And that's very important, okay? If you focus on the right culture, it's so easy to duplicate and scale, because you cannot scale a negative culture. You can, just going to disappear. Like, look at FTX. Oh my God. They've been getting butchered for the past couple of days. The owner of FTX, right? And it's scary to say that the culture there was, listen, some people saw this shit. They didn't say anything. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. Long story short, a lot of people lost a lot of money. And it's scary. Maybe because the culture wasn't there and the integrity wasn't there in that culture. It's very important to have that kind of, conversation with your team and figure out what's the culture. Number 8, measure what matters, question what's measured, and trust your gut. So whatever you're measuring in your business, right? Measure what needs to get measured, your KPIs, your key performing indicators, right? Measure how long it takes from a customer to go from point A to point B to point C to point D. Follow those processes. See if it's done the proper way. Like, for example, in our industry, when we sign up a customer, there needs to be a site survey. We've used installers where it takes 7 days to get a site survey. We're using installers now where it takes a day to get it done, or 2 days, right? So we're speeding up that process, so we're measuring what matters, so we know what the pluses are and the minuses are. We always question what's measured. When we were measuring, I was like, okay, why is it taking 7 days? It should be a day or 2. It shouldn't take longer than that, right? Because speed is everything in this business. And then always trust your gut, right? I made a mistake 2021, last year. I made some investments. I made an investment where my gut was like, don't do this, Michael. Just don't do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And my emotions clouded my judgment. And guess what? I made a decision. I lost a lot of money, right? So that was a bad thing because I didn't trust my gut. Your gut will never lie to you. Your gut will tell you things that you cannot understand. It's the sixth sense that kicks in because your subconscious mind is attached to the ether, attached to the infinite intelligence, and you got to trust your gut, right? So that's very, very important. Number 9, This is the ninth principle that Jeff Bezos applied at Amazon. Focus on high standards. We talked about culture. We talked about measuring stuff. We talked about trusting your gut, but you got to keep those standards high. We get rid of people every single week or two. Every single week or two, I'm looking for someone to get rid of in my company. And the reason why we do that is because we know that the more we keep those standards this low, the more we're going to have a low production. The higher we keep the standards, the more chance we have champions that want to be part of that culture because it's always striving for excellence and we're always striving for greatness. I don't want weakness in the company. I want people that want to strive for the great, strive to be great, strive to the top levels of success. And we have to keep those standards high. Like for example, your team may be doing, 2 sales a week. That may be acceptable in your culture. That may be acceptable in your business. But if you raise that standard to 4 as an example, you'll see a huge difference in the quality and caliber of the people that come in. Very important to keep those standards high, right? And get rid of people that cannot be a part of those standards. Number 10, believe it's always day number 1. Hustle like it's day number 1. When you're scaling, it's number 1. You're not there sitting on a chair on a high throne making millions of dollars. No. It's day 1. What are we going to do today? How can we crush it today? How can we hustle today? What can I do to get more done today? Because it's day 1 mentality. And because remember, day 1, what happens when day 1 in a business, right? Jeff Bezos did that for a long time. Like they're always reinventing themselves, always adding value. It feels like they're always like growing and growing and growing. It's amazing because they're always thinking about everything is day 1. They start something, day 1. They cherish it like it's day 1. Meaning you only have today to get it right. And you're starting today as if you're a brand new project. When you start a brand new project right away, what happens? You're excited, you're pumped up, you're alive, you're excited about the next moves. And that's the power of when you're scaling, you have to have that, believe that it's always day number 1. So number 11, generate high velocity decisions. That's powerful, right? When things are moving fast and things are exploding, you're accelerating, you got to make decisions fast. Speed is everything. And you got to create systems where you can create those high velocity decisions because if you don't make decisions quick, boom, you're screwed up. As the bigger you get as a company, the harder it is to make decisions at scale. Like I give you an example. We have 1 location as an example. Let's say we have to change some stuff. I get everyone together, let's change it. If I have 5 locations, you know how hard is it to get 5 locations to change one thing? So you got to learn how to make those high quality decisions with a high velocity, with speed, with doing it the right way so you don't mess up the scale. You don't mess up the acceleration of the growth of the company. So it's very important that you make decisions quickly and not move like a sloth, especially when you get really big, right? Number 12, make complexity simple. If you really think about Amazon, when you buy a product from Amazon, like it's so simple. Buy, click, one click buy. I don't have to think about it. It ships to my house. I don't worry about nothing. It's so easy. Now I understand why I spend money all the time on Amazon and I don't want to go anywhere else because it's just convenient. They make complex situations very simple. Very, very, very simple. IKEA, for example, building furniture is not simple, okay? But IKEA makes it very simple. They make a complex situation and make it very simple, right? So you got to do that in your business. What is so complicated in your business that your guys don't understand? Your team doesn't understand. Your sales guys don't understand. Your employees don't understand. What's going on? Why is it so complex? If it's so complex, make it simple. Simplify the processes. Simplify everything, okay? Number 13, accelerate time with technology. If you're not using technology in your business to speed up processes and make things faster, you're crazy. You want to buy time. Rich people buy time, poor people spend money. Use your money to invest in technology. We have a lot of technology in our company. As a matter of fact, if we ever decide to sell, which I'm not planning on to, but if we ever do, they're going to look into our technology and say, wow, your CRM is this, your this is that. Your technology is what's really what we want. Technology is everything nowadays, right? And you want to speed up the process with everything you do. Think about Amazon. Like they use the most advanced technology. As a matter of fact, they are building all the servers on the planet. They have AWS, and they're always doing everything. Like, just crazy, man. I love Amazon so much. The only thing I don't have is an Amazon store. Maybe some of you guys do. But anyway, last thing, the number 14th principle. This is a powerful one, which I implemented before reading this book, but promoting ownership. They give the chance of other people to own and profit share with them. Whether it's through stocks, equity, distributions, having your own business with Amazon, selling, third-party items, whatever it may be. They're always giving people the chance to grow with them. And you have to have some kind of culture in your company where you're giving people the chance to have some kind of ownership and promote themselves and grow with you. Nobody wants to be a low-paid employee forever. Some people want to grow and they want to advance and they want to have ownership. Give them the opportunity to do so. That's why we have that in our company. We have a promotional structure where people can grow and eventually own their own office. That's the goal they have available for them. And we like that model because what happens is you get the most sharpest people because not everybody wants to, be an employee. Some people want to own their own business, and why not do it with you as a franchise owner or a licensee owner or a partner or a vendor or a third party, whatever relationship it may be, right? So you guys get this, you get the drift with the 14 principles. I appreciate you guys. If I missed something, I didn't say something correctly, rewind the video, go back to it, listen to this video multiple times because it's gonna help you grow your business. Like Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world because Jeff Bezos applied these 14 principles. And hopefully you can apply some of these principles for your business to start growing. So I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so you know exactly when we post the videos. We're posting videos every single week, every single day to help add value to you and your family. So I'll see you guys in the next video.